So yet another day and another brand new release here in 2024. I meant to get to this last week and I actually recorded like the first half of the video, but had a bunch of issues. So I never actually got around to it, but I have now worn this fragrance. So this is technically not going to be a first impression. It's going to be a full review. This is of a brand new release here in 2024. Again, this is Kenzo Homme Santal Marin. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude. Thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another first impression of a brand new release. Well, technically, again, like I said, it's not like a full review or a first impression. I've worn it once. I just forgot to come back around to this video because, again, had a lot going on. But with that said, I do want to give a little bit of disclaimer. If you can't understand some of the things that I say in this video, again, I was just at the dentist. I'm trying to get through videos with my mouth being completely numb. So just kind of work with me. Also, make sure if you're not already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, comment below, let me know if you're interested to try this. If you're not, if you've never heard of it, all that good stuff. Just have a conversation. So yeah, today we're doing my first impression / full review. If I feel like I need to come back with it, I will, but probably not. This is Kenzo Homme Santal Marin, brand new in 2024. So the Eau de Toilette came out. It's a good fragrance, a little bit darker, unique, slightly blue and fresh. Then they had the Eau de Parfum, which is my favorite in the line. This one is becoming harder and harder to find. It's like a leathery aquatic, but like mixed together with a blue fragrance. It's also fresh, and it's almost like a dark blue leather fragrance you can wear on the beach. Very, very interesting fragrance that 50% of people are going to hate and 50% of people are going to love. It's really, which one are you? The Intense is kind of like a middle ground between the Eau de Toilette and this one, where it's a little bit more woody, but it's not as dark and leathery, and it's not as hard to smell as like for some people. It's a little bit more easier to wear. Then Marine came out last year. It's fresh and clean. It's nothing special. And it only lasted like 3 hours on my skin. So it's not for me. It might be for some people. If that's you, then great. With that said, that we're not talking about any of those now. We're talking about this one. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what's going on with this line. So what is Kenzo Homme Santal Marin about? When I first sprayed this one on, I thought that I really loved the fragrance. I thought it was the best one out of all of the fragrances that I had gotten, that the Abbey Rouge Parfum, the Le Male Lover, the Creed Centaurus. I thought that this one was my favorite. When I sprayed this one on the second time around, I was like, what the heck is that? It smells nothing like what I did the first time. It smells more like a smoked woods. And like, it didn't smell like a great smoked woods either. It was like a slightly generic-y smoked woods that was unique in its own right, but also kind of strange. The first time around, again, it reminded me more of my favorite one, the Eau de Parfum. And while it starts to dry, it does get closer to that. It actually reminds me more of like a smoked woody version of the Intense. And this fragrance, when it first opens for the first like 5 to 10 minutes, it has this almost like creamy smoked woods mixed together with a blue fragrance, and it's just like okay. It doesn't like blow me out of the water or anything like that. After 5 minutes, it gets a little bit better. It goes from like a 7 to a 7.5. After like 15 to 20 minutes, it goes like 7.5 to a 7.8. And then it might maybe get up to maybe like a 7.9 or an 8 by the dry down, but it doesn't get any higher than that. If you would have asked me this a week ago, I would have said, yeah, this is like a 9, like an 8.5 or a 9, because I don't know what was going on with that first spray, but that's why you got to wear the fragrance a few times, just to make sure that everything's copacetic. And I can tell you, it smells nice. Some people are going to like this fragrance. Most people are going to be meh about it. I know I've already talked to some people and it was more of a mixed bag. A couple people didn't like it. A couple people found it generic and just okay. I know one person was like, yeah, that's really good. I'm kind of in the middle. It's like I'll wear the fragrance, but would I pull it? I don't pull this line very often, but when I do, I pull this one. I feel like I'm that dude from that commercial. I don't pull this line often, but when I do, I pull this one. But anyway, I would say it's nothing that's striking me as super unique. It is like a dry, semi-smoked woods mixed together with that Kenzo Homme Intense DNA, which is already a woody DNA. It smells like it's more of the darker side of woods, maybe more of like a Gaiac wood or even like an oud-ish. But I would say it's more along the lines of like a Gaiac wood. And I think I remember seeing in the note breakdown it was Gaiac wood. With that said, it's almost like if you took the opening of the Intense, added more smoky woods, and then as it started to dry, you have like a little creamy vibe in there. And then as it started to dry, and that's where you start getting a little bit more of those marine facets in there. You get a little bit of more of that like green aquatic. Like it's not a green fragrance, but it comes across more marine. It has that watery vibe, and it has a little bit more of that beachy vibe, and then it has some musk, a little bit of spice. But overall, it just doesn't do anything for me. I'm going to have to give it some more wears, and I think it would do a little bit better during the transitional seasons. Like in the weather that's between like 40 to 70 degrees is probably perfect for this. This is going to be a leather jackety fragrance. I'm not going to say that like the EDP, you could wear this with a leather jacket or you could wear this with a bathing suit. I mean, it really doesn't matter. But with the Santal Marin, this is more of a dusty, dry, smoked woods version of the Intense. As it dries, it gets a little bit closer to this guy. And so while it dries, it gets closer to that, which makes it a better fragrance, at least for me personally. It doesn't really do much for me, especially in that opening. And I've told you in the past, especially lately with the Abbey Rouge Parfum, if I have to wait to get to the part of a fragrance that I like, it's not going to be 100% for me, and I'm not going to end up wearing it. And it'll probably sit on my shelf for about 3 months, and then I'll sell it to one of you guys. That's probably what's going to end up happening with this one. I'm actually quite upset with that because of the fact that when I first sprayed it on, I was really pumped. I thought it was like a woodier version that without leather of the EDP, which was exactly what I was looking for. Because my wife really likes this, but she said the only thing that puts me off a little bit is that leathery smell. And so if we added a little bit of woods to this, I think that would have been perfect. It's just the way that they went about it with the woods with this one. It's just a little bit too much and a little bit too dry of a woody tone. But as it starts to dry, you get a little bit of like this creamy woody tone mixed together with that darker woods. So it even makes it more woody. It has that, again, aquatic marine style vibe. And then it's just picture the Intense just with an amped up smoked dry woods. And that's what this fragrance really is. It's pretty linear as it gets to the dry down, again with a little bit of that creamy tone floating throughout and a little bit of spice as well as those marine aquatic notes start to pull forward. You get a little bit of lavender throughout the fragrance, but it's neither here or there. It's kind of just a background nuance. But yeah, I'll end up probably doing some kind of like full review compilation for some of the fragrances I don't like lately, like the Abbey Rouge Parfum and this, just so we can look at the note breakdowns together. Maybe I'll do it on a live stream or something, but that is Kenzo Homme Santal Marin. Overall, I would give it like a 7.8. I think it's definitely a wearable fragrance, and for some of those people who like those kind of like wood heavy fragrances and they're a fan of this line in general, then I think that you might want to give this one a shot. I just don't think it's a blind buy for sure. It's the largest bottle I have in the line, and it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I mean, I guess my score for it is more based on the dry down because it's okay because of that opening. But if I took away the first 15 minutes, it'd probably be like an 8. So that's why it gets better. And the opening for me is like a 7. So it's okay. Maybe a 7.2, 7.3 would be overall a better score, more apt for me. But yeah, let me know if you guys have tried it, what you think. And again, I'll be back with another one. I feel like I didn't do too much in that video. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Peace out.